All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello, hello. I hope you guys are having a great day. Okay. Karina and I are back. This is not Financial Fraud Friday. I know you guys are used to seeing us get together and talk about Financial Fraud Friday, but today we just have we have a basic tax topic that we discussed and decided, we should cover. And that is what is the difference, and talking about the difference between a hobby and a business. We were usually this stems from us having some sort of side conversation. And so we thought it'd be a good idea to come to you guys and provide you with some information that hopefully you can use, apply, or some knowledge anyway that you can just kind of keep in your little toolbox. Okay. And so today we're going to talk about the difference between what a business is considered to the IRS and a hobby and how both are treated in terms of how the IRS treats them. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Nikkei Togba. I am the owner of Togba and Associates, a tax and advisory firm based out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. We focus on business owners and professionals providing services with a personalized approach.
Okay, and hi everyone. My name is Karina O'Connor. I'm the owner and founder of Cake Financial with the K, where we help six-figure entrepreneurs resolve their IRS issues so they can run their business with confidence. We are a virtual firm here based out in South Florida, but we can help nationwide. So some of our services for our business is doing back taxes for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years that you have not filed and also tax representation and resolution for any of those people who have a tax debt that they cannot pay in full. So I'm going to do a disclaimer and then send it back over to Nikkei. So disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Although we are professionals and tax professionals, we are not your tax professionals until you book the link and link in the bio and sign our
Okay.
engagement letter. Just understand that everything we're saying here is for educational purposes only. And you should consult with a tax professional before doing anything that we say. That is it. It is our opinions. That's it.
Not only that, Lord knows when you'll see this. Something might
Right,
change.
exactly.
Right? With the way things are going, something might change.
It
Okay.
really will might change. No. So back to
So,
the K.
so you guys, like I said, Karina and I were probably discussing something personal, and then we got into this. And so, um, what's a business? What's a hobby? How does the IRS treat the two? And so I'm just going to give a brief definition. The IRS defines a hobby as an activity engaged in for pleasure or recreation with no intent of making profit. Okay, so it's just something you do. You trade cards, Pokemon cards, or whatever it is, or baseball cards, or maybe you trade cars or upgrade cars, vehicles or something like that. Some sort of, you're not really engaging in it as a business. It's just something you do on the side. You do it for fun and recreational purposes. Conversely, the IRS considers a business is something you operate with a primary goal of earning a profit. So that's the difference. Am I doing this because my intention is to earn a profit and live off of this, or am I doing this for recreation purposes?
Right.
Basically.
And it's so funny because I don't think Nikkei and I have talked about it, but like I'm personally on like a hobby tour. So like where I'm doing multiple different hobbies that I've always wanted to do and just kind of like exploring them to see which ones
Oh,
don't. So with me, like I'm not making any money
okay,
from
okay,
these
okay.
hobbies. This is not something I'm doing to get money out of. Like I'm literally just doing it for fun and to like enrich my life and to make it a little bit better. So same thing with like the IRS, like even if you are getting money from your hobby, if the primary goal for having that hobby is not for profit, it's not a business. And you cannot get the same what word am I looking for?
treatment, maybe.
privileges.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
that's a good one. Privilege.
privileges that a business
That a
gets
business
because
gets.
they are two different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I can't be like, oh, well, you know what? Since I'm doing this hobby today, it's a business now. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, the primary goal is for personal and recreational enrichment or something like that.
Purposes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
not
so
exactly like, oh, I'm getting a business for profit. This is what I'm doing my business. I'm starting a business to make money.
exactly. And well, and we'll touch on that
Oh
later
yeah,
because I
I
don't
guess
even
we'll
want to
touch on
bring that one in. But the
that.
IRS does have a nine-factor test that they might use to consider whether or not your motive for operating was profit, right? So if they do, look at it and they say, no, 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 this is a hobby.
Hmm.
And the odd and off chance that they do that and they say this is a hobby, what normally happens is they will not allow you to what? Take all of the expenses that you may have taken. You have to claim the income from it, but you don't get as Karina said, the
Privileges.
privilege of taking of deducting the expenses or of saying, oh well, I had to put up a website or I had to pay Amazon or I had to do certain things. The expenses that you pay to make that income, you do not get to deduct. They will, if it is determined that what you're doing is actually a hobby, they will remove those.
Reclassify.
Yes,
Yes,
there we go, reclassify those expenses. You do have to claim the income though.
that's right. That's right. So I know like we will say this until we're black and blue. Every single income is taxable and
They
should be
want
reported.
they want all of
Period.
it.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Are they all? That's none of my business.
Every
That's your
type.
business.
Yeah.
That's your business. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying what the IRS says.
Oh, oh,
Every,
oh, I see what you mean when you say oh.
every and
Every
all
type.
income should be reported and is taxable.
I see. Oh, that
That's
okay.
it.
I got
Like,
I
which
got
will
you.
include your hobby. So if you're making a little like trinkets and your trinkets cost however much money, but you love doing it and people give you a little change, technically speaking, you should be reporting that income.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
Okay. And
The difference is that when it's in official business now, all of the money that you spent to get those trinkets and buy the what are those called? Like the little beads and buy the materials, all of those now because you're operating as a business trying to make profit
hmm
and their ordinary and necessary expenses, you are now able to reduce the amount that you got in income so
hmm
your profit can be less.
Buy that, yeah. Buy
Yes. And then I think we should talk about because we said the nine things, but the 3 year out of 5 year test that the
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. And so yeah, they've got so this is, if you are, say you're running this business and you you let's see, you don't you've got, you out of 3 of the 5 years, if the business is profitable for
Mhm.
at least three of a consecutive, what, 5 years,
Yes.
right? The IRS will presume it's a business, okay? If this condition is not met, the burden of proof lies on you to prove to them that you were actually trying to run a business or that you were actually running a business. Okay. So
Right.
if an activity is profitable at least 3 of the last 5 consecutive years, they'll say, oh, it's a business. But if
Right.
you're constantly filing, and we just keep seeing loss after loss after loss after loss after loss.
But hold on. What kind of business is this? That's what they're thinking.
And let's be fair, when you're initially starting off, the likelihood that that ending number is a loss is high. It
Yeah.
happens. It happens a lot. It's normal. It's par for the course. New business, you know what I mean? Um, but if you're going and consistently and continuously, it's a loss. I think then it becomes should you even continue doing this? Because what is the point? The whole point of starting a business is to make a profit, is to have, is to maybe supplement your income or generate something, of value. That's the point.
Right, right.
Um, Go ahead.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, because I was like, the way I think about it, in practical life, right? Like all this is practical, but the last 3 to 5 years, you're going ahead and you're getting that loss, and that loss is offsetting some of your income. So if you have a W-2 job or any other type of income, that loss is helping you to
Mhm.
pay less in tax.
All right, right.
So
Yeah.
the IRS is thinking, oh, okay, like if I'm giving my, if I say I decided to invest in a business and I said, okay, Nikkei, I'm going to give you $1,000, but I expect within the next 5 years, I should be getting a return on my investment.
Hmm.
I, I'm giving you that $1,000 so you can turn it and make it some more money. The
Right.
IRS is not giving you any money. Let me make that real clear. But they're allowing you to reduce those expenses. But after a while, I see the last 3 out of the 5 years, or let's say four, because 3 out of 5, you're not making any profit, like nothing.
Right.
How am I going to get my money back? How am I going to get the return on my investment if your business isn't making anything?
Generating any income. Yeah.
It's not generating any income. And then not only that, it's offsetting the other income that you're legitimately should be paying tax on, and you're not paying tax on that because so they're like, "Oh, you're trying to game the system," which some
Yeah, it might
people,
start to look like that.
yeah, which some people are. And then don't get us wrong now, if you're legitimately coming in at a loss for 5 years, but you are legitimately operating as a business, meaning you have proper documentation, you have bookkeeping, you have a separate bank account for your business and your personal. You are advertising. You are doing professional development and educational courses to make sure that you are marketing to your business and you're telling people, hey, my business, this is a legitimate thing. I am trying to make profit. But if you're not doing all of that, the IRS is going to be like, oh, no, you're trying to game the system. You're a hobby. And since you said that you're trying to game the system and all of the things, I'm going to take away the privilege of being able to have those expenses. So now you got to prove that you are a legit business. And if you don't have that documentation, you're going to have to pay back the money
You may have
that
received it as a refund
that
if
you
you
may
had
have
other income.
received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is they may not just do it for the year that in question. They may go back a little further.
And we go
They
back.
may say, oh, yeah, no, we're going to take this back a little further, right?
Right.
And even and that's a headache. But they do have a 9-factor test to prove whether, for you to be able to prove your profit motive. What's the manner within which you were carrying on the activity? Do you have any expertise in the activity? Um, are there
Time and
elements
effort.
of personal pleasure to it? How's your history of profit, history of income and loss, the time and effort, like Karina said. So they've got a bunch of other factors, and they're weighed together.
Right.
One alone, they're not standalone. All of these things are weighed, in conjunction to make that decision. I'm sitting here listing all of this, but a lot of times it's pretty clear if you're running a business or a hobby. I mean, I think for the most part, it's pretty clear.
Give or take. Give or take. Give or take. I think it blends together where people like, oh, well, I enjoy doing like, which is great to enjoy doing what you do as you should,
Hmm.
but it just needs to go through the proper documentation channels. And then I know that it might be a thing where people are trying to switch from being a hobby to a business and what that may look like. What that may look like is maybe, I'm no longer just doing things willy-nilly. I'm buying things out of my personal bank account instead of, getting a separate bank account, making sure I do things legally, making sure I have a tax accountant, tax professional. I have bookkeeping now because it's not just I'm reporting all the income. I have a solid place where I'm getting money. Like, where is your payment going? Are you just collecting random cash apps and Venmos and go letting it go every here, there, and everywhere? Or now you have a payment system and a payment process that all of my payments are going to this business bank account, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm now going to start to advertise and do advertising like situations to make my hobby into a business now. I'm going to get an EIN if I didn't have one before, and an go to the Secretary of State to get a legitimate entity. Like, I'm doing all the things to make sure that my business is a business. Or yeah, like I'm switching my hobby into a business now because I see that my hobby is making money and I'm like, I want to now make legit profit.
Yeah, yeah. I, you know, I would say for the most part is pretty clear, whether or not you're running your business, whether or not what you're doing is being run with the intent of making profit and it being a business. But and, and Karina and I were having this discussion around this, and it being clear and this intent. And we have a lot of discussions about mindset and mindset shift and whether or not, and the comment that I made was that it's not easy.
Mhm.
Okay. It's very sensationalized, I think, having
Yeah.
a business, running a business, being a business owner, being an
Being a
entrepreneur. Oh, I'm
boss.
all
Yeah. It's
it's sensationalized. It looks glamorous. I don't, Instagram has made everyone think that I don't know,
yeah.
Instagram, I'm not blaming you alone, but there's this idea that it is, it's the thing to do. They're even running there are all these, businesses now that are built around helping you get your LLC and being your registered agent, and they're pushing this as if, and so it's a popular thing. It's popular now for some odd reason, okay? But there are a lot of things to consider if you are going to start a business. Um,
Right.
and I think that before you make that decision, um, that there is strong consideration
Mhm.
about what this is going to require, what the
Right.
responsibilities of what you are considering taking on are, what those responsibilities are, who you now have to become and be,
Right.
the fact that you're going to have to be responsible for clients and their needs and wants. If you get that far, the regulations and the rules and the documents and paying for this thing and staying on top of that thing and it's time to register and do I have to pay sales taxes and do I have to pay payroll taxes and how do I manage contractors? There is a lot that goes along with that. So as I would, so I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna say this, and what's my girl's name? She got in trouble for saying, you should get a
Oh, Tabitha Brown.
yes, you should get a job, and I, ki- I kind of got where she was coming from with, you get it, and I know a lot of entrepreneurs who I think the ones who are really out there grinding and really trying to make this work and are, if they're being genuine and honest within themselves, maybe took a little, felt hit by it or took maybe some offense to it.
Mhm.
But you had a different perspective, which I understand. But I think it really needs to be considered before just jumping into it, what the responsibilities, what you are actually about to embark on,
Yes.
consider what that looks like. And if you're ready
I
for it.
agree. I agree. And I agreed with what she said. Like, I think people as a business owner myself, as
Right?
a business owner myself, we know that sometimes we have to do whatever we need to do to make sure that we're good and our business is good and that we can deliver whatever we need to deliver to our clients. That's it. So whatever you need to do to make sure that your business is thriving, you do. If that means getting a job, you get it so that
Yeah.
you can have the income to live on the side. That's fine. If your job and your, I mean, if your purpose is this business, it doesn't stop because you have a job, whether part-time, contract, full-time, or otherwise. I think in that particular moment, she was speaking to people who think that the only option is I have to do this job, and if I don't work this business, I'm gonna be a failure or whatever the case is. To
Mm-mm-mm.
free them from that thought of if this business, doesn't work, that's it, or whatever the case is. Like, no, the business, like all of us have different paths. And if your path is working your 9 to 5, technically it's 9 to 6, really, depending on your lunch. But if you're working to your 9 to 5 and from 5 to 9, you're working on your business, or on the weekends, you're working on your business and getting that growing,
Yeah.
then do that. If it's completely all in, a 9 to 5 doesn't work for you because it's going to be a distraction. It's all business all the time. You do that. If it's part-time contract, whatever, self-employment work, doing little knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone while you're doing it, and then you do your business, then
Right.
you do that. Like you
Right.
figure out the way that works for you. We're all different. Whatever
Yeah.
works for you, you take it. I mean, I'm of the age of like, if somebody is saying something, if it's for me, I take it. I take what I need and leave the rest. That's
All
it.
the rest.
Like,
Yeah. 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 But
that's it.
it caused a huge, it caused, I
What
mean,
it causes
yeah,
you.
because I even messaged you. I said, hey, did you see, did you see
Yeah, and I
it?
didn't at the time, but I saw it and I was like, I agree. But I
Mhm.
know she's not talking to me because I have done
And are
jobs and
willing.
different things while doing this business so that I can make sure that this business thrives. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not in my head like, oh, like I'm too good to do X, Y, and Z in order
That
to
part.
not.
That part.
Or I don't think I should be able to do this, whatever, whatever. No, if the price is right and the thing and
And it
and the
worked.
situation and I'm still able to do my business, I will take that opportunity. I'm not gonna let the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Like it is hard being a business owner. And people who are business owners understand that it's hard being a business owner. And that's it. So whatever you got to do. And that's coming from someone who's she said she didn't get her big break. I think it was like 2 decades.
Right.
2 decades
Right.
before people started to know her name. Sometimes you have to do some odd jobs and little things to make sure that your business is still like
It's,
thriving and
it's
that your life
thriving.
you can still survive. That there's nothing wrong with that. I know we got off a little bit off topic a
No,
smidge.
I mean, because to me, we're talking business or hobby,
Hmm.
but the you know how much energy, you know how much it takes. Even in this moment,
Right.
let's just be transparent. Even in this moment, the both of us we're exhausted.
Yeah,
Okay, right? We're
I'm
exhausted.
I'm here. I don't know if y'all
And
hear my voice.
you
I'm getting over whatever this is in my throat.
right? So
But I gotta show up because
but
there's no sick time.
you gotta show up, right? You got a deadline. You gotta,
Right.
so all I'm saying is I think the point I was trying, well, the point I was trying to make, or the point that I'm making is this. I know that entrepreneurship has this almost sensationalized, glamorous
Mhm.
tone to it right now. Um, and I think, you know, I'm of the belief at this point that that's kind of, it's I don't want to say it's dangerous. I'm just going to say that's not it. It's not that. We see people most times when they have broken through s- all of the heartache that goes along, with this. And so we see Steve Harvey with his show and he's doing the comedy, but you didn't see him during the backstory when he was going through all of the things that he was going through. And a lot of people have that story, and there's that time that it took. And I think the question is, are you resilient enough to go through that?
That's true. Like Rick Ross said, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Like, so if you weren't with, like, and we say that, like, we see the
Oh,
LeBron James, like, we see LeBron and all of that, but do you know how much work he puts in? And are you willing to do that work to get that outcome?
yeah.
It's the same thing with business. Like, I'm of the world of everybody doesn't need to have a business. Everybody cannot have a business and everyone cannot sustain a business. I do believe that they should have their own thing and investments and things of that nature to make sure those are growing, but I don't believe that everyone should have a business because it is not for every single person personally because you have to have a certain type of tenacity and a certain type of goal and a certain type of mindset to continue when things do not look right and when things do not look good. Am I still going to do this? Even if the money isn't running properly, even when the money is good, but some things come your way and it's going to shake your character. What do you do in business? You have to have that level of tenacity. And then everything we do, if we don't kill, we don't eat.
Yeah.
Like that is a different type of lifestyle that I don't believe everyone is
Everyone is
equipped for.
ready
So you
for.
need to know who you are. And maybe you don't, and it's okay. Maybe you're not equipped to do a business. Or maybe you are, but maybe you're like hands off a side business. Maybe it's something where you're a partner for another person who handles the business. Maybe you don't need to be CEO.
Maybe,
Maybe you just need to be a silent partner and you get the money on the side. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, you need to know who you are before you get into, oh, yeah, I want to get a business because
That's
everybody
a
told me
thought.
that I should.
Yeah, that's a thought. So, I threw that, I kind of threw that out there because that's also something to consider. We're saying hobby, we're talking hobby and business, but
Yeah,
it's nothing wrong with just having a hobby.
there's
And
nothing wrong with it.
and
Hobbies are fun.
you okay,
Sometimes
right?
it's not fun. Like you wake up and you're like, I don't want to today, but I know I got to do this, and that, and I have to show up for this, and deadlines for whatever clients that I said I had to. So you put on your big girl panties and you do it.
Yeah,
For like hobbies, it's just something I do.
yeah.
With this hobby tour, I can put it on the back burner and I can put it on the side and I can pick it up and drop it when I need to. As opposed to a business, you cannot just pick it up and drop it.
Yeah, I wonder if they have, and that's probably something to look into. I
Mhm.
wonder, if they've got stats, because they usually have their stats on the side. They got stats of how many businesses they've reclassified
Oh, as a hobby. Oh, that's a
as a
good.
hobby,
Interesting.
like hold on, y'all, let me do a quick Google before we pop out
Quick
of here.
Googles.
Now I'm curious.
Quick Googles.
Are there any stats? So bear with me, oh God. The IRS is reclassified. I'd be curious to know if they have that. That
Yeah,
does.
it's a real good, something serious.
Ooh.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah. Oh, this report's kind of old though, so I don't want to quote this report, but they do have
Oh,
um
that's interesting.
yeah, they do have that. They have those reports out.
How old is old?
This one's really old.
Okay.
With as far back as as you can go, too old. What we're going
Okay.
6 years back. This is past that.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, this is past that. So I won't even mention it. But you guys, so we always give you a takeaway. I would say for me, or the takeaway that I pull from this conversation is, you know, if you're going to go into business, this is, it's something you want to do,
Mhm.
strongly consider what is required of you as an individual, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of that, what's required to manage this business, financially, the requirements as far as documentation and what needs to be kept up with, what are all the things that you're going to be responsible for. Strongly consider everything that you can think of, and then and also have a conversation with a very thriving owner. I had the benefit of watching my father manage businesses. So I was like, I don't know, you know what I mean? It just, so strongly consider everything that is involved um before hopping in.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And once again, I guess my takeaway is that if your business, I mean, sorry, if you are at a hobby and you want to convert your hobby to a business, you're ready to take that step, like to contact a tax professional, preferably us. Contact a tax professional to have that conversation beforehand, to see what to
That's
do.
a good idea.
What does that look like for you?
That's a
Even
great idea.
contacting your especially those storefront people, you contact your local city that you're in before you sign contracts and you sign documents, signing your life over and signing your business life over. Like have that conversation of what that looks like. What are the requirements to become a business? What does that mean for me? And then the same thing if your business is not operating as a business. And we touch on the point of, hey, I haven't been doing my bookkeeping. I haven't filed taxes for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years.
Hmm.
I haven't been able to think about what to do in my business. I'm commingling funds. I don't even have a separate bank account.
Right.
And you want somebody to clean that up for you. And you want to get back into compliance to make sure that your business is running like a business. So even if you come at a loss and the IRS is knocking on your door, you have the proper documentation. Please contact us. Book that link in the bio.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And so yeah, I think that's what we got, you guys. Just don't have the IR. I mean, I don't know if the like I have not recent. I've not heard very many, but it's possible. Listen, it's a possibility, okay? And you need to know that it's a possibility because these days, it's anything they can use to pull a little extra change from your pockets. You know what I mean? It's anything. So yeah. For those of you, if you're looking, you're looking for a new a tax professional that you can work with. I do have a link in the profile that 6 tips for choosing your tax professional, things that you should ask, things you can look for. ideas and questions, things like that. So you can click that link in my profile and get that, download that PDF. But want to thank you guys for, watching and hanging out with us. If you have any questions or you'd like to get in contact with either of us, our, links are in our bios and profiles. And we look forward to talking to you guys. So have a great rest of the day. Bye.